Benvenuti, fellas and bellas all over the world. Welcome to another episode of the Napoli Rant. I am Raff, joined by my co-host, the Victor Soviet, Raffa.
What's up, Raff Bizzarro? Come stai oggi?
Tutto posto. Thank you very much. Hello to you, sir, and hello to everybody in the chat, as well as our audio listeners. Let's get this rant on the road. Napoli defeat Cremonese 4-1 this weekend, bringing our tally up to what, like 8 matches undefeated now, Raffa? Is that right? Am I correct there?
That's nine Serie A unbeaten, and then 3 wins in the Champions League. So right now we're at 10 wins on the season, 2 draws.
Wonderful,
wonderful, and a lot of goals to a little.
A lot of goals to a little. Awesome. We're going to talk a lot about that. We'll match review the game. We have our beast of the match today. We also have our beast of the quarter. After 9 games in, we are 25% through the season. We're going to talk about that player. Very special awards. First time we did it here on the Napoli Rant's first season. We're going to talk about some pessimists, some optimists, and everybody in between. We got Victorless Victories today, scoring all these goals, winning all these games without our star striker, Victor Osimhen. It's crazy. But let's get to the game, guys. Napoli defeat Cremonese again, 4-1 here. Kind of, it was kind of a I don't know if it was the brightest game we had, Raffa. How did you feel kind of overall? I mean, listen, I'll take the win. I don't care. Ugly, beautiful, win's a win, and I'm taking it. But it wasn't quite the same performance as we saw over the previous games. And I think we're spoiled a little bit now.
I think that's it. I think we're spoiled. I think the way listen, it was a slow start against a team that only has 3 points, but you can see for those who watch the league, pretty regularly, Cremonese is probably one of the tougher sides to play against with not a lot to show for it. Those 3 points come in 3 draws. They still haven't had their win yet, but Napoli started the match. Let's not forget, without Piotr Zielinski. So we had a little bit of rotation yesterday. It was an uglier first half than I'd like to have seen, but we drew the foul for the penalty kick, and that kind of set the tone for the rest of the half there.
Did you think? We're going to talk about this. I want to talk about. We'll talk a little bit later about some of the energy of the players. But were you worried at all? Yeah.
No. I wasn't worried per se. I was kind of like looking at the 70th minute. Hey, actually, here you go. This was South to shake that it's tied in the 70th. We are 100% dropping points anxiety that Napoli of the years past had wired into me. That's where I kind of felt like, okay, I'm looking at we can't, here's a golden opportunity. Udinese-Atalanta ended 2-2 after Atalanta went up 2-0 on the road. Udinese comes back to tie it, and it was here you go. Here is first place alone on a silver platter. And I was like Sal, where I was a little worried come the latter stages of the game, but honestly, not very worried. Cholito was in, and I kind of felt it coming. At least one more goal. I didn't think we'd end on a 4-1. The final score was a little flattering to the performance, But listen, they can't all be 85% possession, 78,000 shots, they can't all be won beautifully and wrapped up in the first half. Rrahmani came really close in the first 2 minutes and rattled the post.
Oh yeah.
It would be crazy if that went in. But again, it was job done. Listen, sometimes you got to go to these unexpected places where it's difficult. Napoli historically, by the way, in league play has never beaten Cremonese in Cremona at the stadium that they're in.
Serie A.
No, I think it's
ever.
I'll have to go back and check. It might be for like ever in league play. I know I was working on an article to write, and I just didn't have enough time to finish it. And I did a little bit of research. It might have been overall league play. I could be wrong, but definitely Serie A. Napoli has never gone to Cremona and won the match. Not even in the Maradona days. Like, pretty crazy. Yeah, Maradona's Napoli couldn't beat Cremonese on the road. At home, they did. But actually, there was one year where Diego Maradona's Napoli ended up having to play Cremonese in Monza. And that's a trivia question right there, guys. Monza's stadium, the Brigator, I forgot what it's called too. I got to get up on these new stadiums in Serie A. But Monza's current grounds, their stadium, the first action Serie A that it's ever seen was Cremonese Napoli in the 80s. It wasn't even a Monza game. So their first home game this season was technically not the first Serie A game it had hosted, which is pretty fun. But yeah, it was a Cremonese Napoli game, and that ended 1-1. Maradona scored.
A little history.
You can look it up. And it's there. You'll find it somewhere. But yeah, I mean, like the energy was so. Again, we had Ndombele in there in the first half, so maybe it was a little different than what we've seen. Not much turnover, and we'll get into that later. But I don't know if I really was too worried. Like I did start to like Sal said, I did start to get the jitters of, okay, well at best we'll be tied with Atalanta again and 1 point behind Udinese, and then here comes Lazio today and Milan won, and it was like, oh boy. But job done.
Raffa, you know what? We were in this position before this season where we either were down a goal or we didn't score. We weren't sure what's going to happen. Now, one can probably look back to Fiorentina and Lecce and be like, whoa, it was right there. But after that, we didn't really see it anymore. Personally, I was not 100% satisfied with the starting 11 as far as who Spalletti chose to start. I wanted to see a couple other players. Now, we saw Ndombele out there, and I do like Ndombele, and I think he's growing. He won. We gave him Beast to the match in the Champions League game. I think he's doing some great things, but is starting for them. I don't think he's quite there yet, but to be quite honest, I wasn't as worried because I am confident now in this bench. I am 100% confident in this bench that if Spalletti needs to change things, it's going to get changed and we're going to produce a result. And I mean, 3 goals later, you saw what happened. Okay, those 2 goals came in the 90th minute. One could say maybe Cremonese had the air knocked out of them a little bit. But the fact that we're attacking to the last minute, and we're there to kind of like step on their throats and put this game away and put that nail in the coffin says a lot to me. That kind of stuff gives me confidence. All right. And we'll probably even get into that in the later segments, Raffa. And to me, it's valid. To me, it's all valid. And look, they come onto the field, they change the game. I was like, all right, Ndombele starting. All right, at some point during the game, Spalletti's gonna put in Zielinski and he's gonna put in Simeone, and we're gonna end the game right there. And we did. And I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn. Unfortunately, I was at work, so I didn't get to speak a lot in the Discord or kind of not even on Twitter. I barely tweeted this weekend, but I was confident that we would turn this game around. I was like, we're not losing against Cremonese. No way. And I know it's tough being at home, being in their stadium, but I'll be honest, man. I was a little I was fine. I wasn't worried.
Yeah.
I'm as calm as they are right now on the field, I feel like, right? Because even when they conceded, even when they couldn't put a ball in the net, they don't play panic ball, man. And they're confident in each other that if they can't get it in the first 60, 70 minutes, they'll get it in the last 30 minutes or the last 25 minutes or something like that. So overall, it was a decent performance. I want to talk about Politano, Lozano, Raffa a little bit, because I think there was I saw a difference. I see a difference sometimes when I think Politano's a hard worker, but he feels like Insigne on that side where he kind of does this one trick. I know he's banging in a couple penalties and he's helping us. I know he's putting in a lot of minutes and he's working hard, but Lozano catches so much shit. And I think Joe Bianco said it best in the Discord, and I agree with this statement. He was like, they're not two all-star right wings. They're not two all-star players. They're good enough and they do the job good enough, and that's good enough for him. And I totally agree. So Politano could do great things, but I like Lozano. He adds this speed, and he crosses a lot, and he creates a lot of chances, and that was reciprocated, as you can see, by Simeone to Lozano, where Lozano got a goal. Well, from Cavada, it started with Simeone, and then later on in the game, Simeone almost had another assist to Lozano. So I don't know. I don't think Politano shouldn't have started. I don't mean that, because I know Lozano started the game prior, but kill that. I think let's kill the combo. They're both two pretty decent players, and they both provide two different styles of play for that side, and so be it. And I don't think the money matters. Whatever we paid, we paid. That's ADL's business. It's for
That's
ADL
his
to worry
business.
about.
I
don't want to see results.
I don't have a problem with either of the two starting, because off the bench, both of them are assets as well. We saw Lozano get the start against Ajax. Now, a lot of people might attribute that to, two things. Maybe, obviously Politano's playing a lot, so maybe they needed a little bit of a rest. He picked up a small knock, I think, against Torino. I think he just kind of came off a little limpy, right? And then, so Lozano getting the full 90 against Ajax, who he's accustomed to. He played with PSV Eindhoven a few seasons and actually won a title with them, over Ajax. So he's very accustomed to the Eredivisie. He's very accustomed to the style of play Ajax has, which usually never changes, whether they, whatever personnel is at the helm or whatever players are on the field. Their style of play doesn't normally change a lot. So Lozano being on that right wing was sort of an asset Napoli had to their arsenal. The fact that Politano got the start this time, I'm not opposed to that either. I think he's playing really well. He's playing good enough to warrant these starts. And I don't think he had. Footmob gave him man of the match. But I don't know if he had a man of the match performance. He got the goal for the penalty.
He got 2 now, I think, from Footmob. Even Cavada got an 8.0. Cavada did all right, but I don't think he did 8.0 all right.
I would argue that Cavada did have a man of the match performance.
Drew the penalty fine, but what else? He drew
the penalty, and he's drawing penalties. But also,
I think he's got like 5 or something this season, or something.
Dude,
like that.
But then the assist to Lozano for the third goal.
Fair.
The most unselfish play I've seen. Him and Osimhen actually. Osimhen's. It looked a lot like Osimhen Lozano. Because of 2 years ago, where Lozano and Osimhen really hooked up really well. There was a lot of passing, unselfish play, and honestly, I'm okay with the starting lineup. I was okay with it. Actually, I was really happy with it. Contrary to how you felt about it, Ralph, I was real happy with the starting lineup. Now, Ndombele got the start. Maybe we could have seen Elmas get a start instead. But Ndombele got the start because
I'm not mad at Ndombele.
No, but
I'm not mad at Ndombele starting.
I'm not either. But I maybe would have liked to see Elmas get a few minutes too.
For Cavada, maybe, or
maybe for Ndombele to put him in Zielinski's
in that
role.
Zielinski spot.
And,
okay.
Yeah, to see how that goes. But at the end of the day, that starting 11, Zielinski picked up an injury against Ajax. Was it against Ajax? Yeah, it was against Ajax. And that's why he wasn't going to start. But I think that the fact, he could have started Sirigu. He could have started Ostigard. He could have started even Juan Jesus if he wanted to. And again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. But as far as a starting lineup goes, I found it as a signal of intent by Spalletti. Like, even though this is Cremonese, it's on the road and they're a tricky team. It could be tricky on the road. He knew that with basically a point against Ajax could essentially wrap up the group. It could essentially wrap up the group. A point against Ajax. A win would definitely knock the group out. Like, we're advancing with a win 100%, right? So I think he had the intent of, we're gonna go for this league as well. Like, why not?
Which is fine, but this was the same 11 that basically started the game prior. They're probably gonna be the same 11 that's going to start on Wednesday.
Ralph, I'm okay with it. I'm okay if they're okay to
I'm
play.
not. Look
I'm
at
okay
Rrahmani. Rrahmani got, okay, maybe it's Monday, whatever, quarterback and whatever the hell they say. But I was from
Monday
the
night in this case.
Monday night, whatever. Right, Monday night quarterbacking or hindsight 2020, whatever cliche bullshit. But fuck that. I said in the Discord that Rrahmani could use a break today. Put an Ostergaard.
Sure.
Why not?
Sure.
Why not? The guy won Beast of the Match in his first appearance. Put him in. Give Rrahmani
but I don't think he's out for that long. And again, we have the depth. We have Ostergaard.
But you got to use it. We have the depth, Raffa, but we got to use it. We're not.
But I think we're going a little ahead of ourselves. I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. I think look at what happened when we rotated heavily. We dropped points on the road.
Fine.
Fiorentina, which is Fiorentina, fine. But then we dropped points to Lecce too. So one was
the big road. I think that was against
Lecce was the big.
Lecce. My apologies. Yeah. It was against Lecce with the big. We started Ndombele. We started Elmas. We started who else? We had Raspadori, who was quite in form as he is now. Right. So yeah, I get it, but I didn't want like 6 people. I really wanted like 1 in each department. I wanted Ostergaard to start. I wanted Ndombele to start, and I also wanted Cavada to get a break, believe it or not. And as far as Politano, Lozano, either one would have worked fine for me. And then maybe Simeone gets a start. But one other player that I really wanted to see was Gaetano and even Sirigu. Maybe Sirigu could have got a game, but you said this last week, Rafa, about keeping Meret in form and let him,
confidence.
He's okay.
It's not even form; it's confidence, man. That's your number one. You got to go with him.
But that's fine. But putting in Sirigu to play against Cremonese, I don't think should hurt his confidence. I think maybe he could have taken a moment to sit on the bench and cheer on Sirigu, just like Sirigu's cheering on everybody else.
But here's the thing. Give
him a moment.
You have now. Listen, we have got to establish a lead in this table. We have to establish it. So I think the intent of putting out the starting 11 that we did was we're coming for this lead. We want to make it a big lead. And once we have that lead and, maybe in, when we come back from the break or right before the break, I'm going to pull up the schedule right now. Maybe that's when we go with Sirigu. Maybe that's when we start Ostergaard a little bit more. Once we wrap up the Champions League, listen, there's a scenario in which if we win this weekend and this week Wednesday against Ajax at the Maradona, all we would need is 1 point to win the whole group against Rangers, and then the final match at Anfield against Liverpool, we could play the whole kids. #play the kids. We could start Gaetano. We could start all these guys. Like, there's a real chance that happens. Now, when we come to.
But you don't think Gaetano against Cremonese would have been great, considered he played for them last season? He was one of their best players.
It would have been. But again,
he didn't even come out, Rafa. But he didn't even come off the bench. We had 2 changes in the 80th something minute, and one of them was an injury.
But listen. But we have to establish a lead first, Ralph. We're playing with fire if we start experimenting right now. Now, I'm not saying that the players that are on the bench are experimental players. What I'm saying is you have to go with what's working, even if it's going to cause 1 or 2 muscle strains, injuries. I did see Fili de Vesuvio say that the injury to Rrahmani had nothing to do with fatigue. It was a strain. Listen, it's gonna happen. This is sports. This is why we have depth. But we have got to establish a lead in this. Dude, our schedule gets tough. It's Atalanta, Empoli, Udinese before we go.
Fair,
and those are the top teams.
fair enough,
You know what I
Raffa.
mean?
Fair enough,
Yeah.
Raffa. But the fact that again, I got called at the very least, give me Ostigard to play for Rrahmani that day. Because I mean, okay, again, you can't predict Rrahmani's injury, but it's like you're rolling the dice when you do something like that. And we speak about depth. Depth is not depth if we don't use it. I just think this game in particular, sandwiched in between all these other games and the amount of output our players have been producing, I just think this would have been a good fit to rest the defense. Ajax, maybe, well, I mean, maybe he'll get the call for Ajax now. Ajax is a tough team. It's good to have a tough defender out there. I believe like him and Min, if him and Kim Min Jae start, I'll be a little bit, maybe I'll be a little bit more confident. I don't know, but either way, we take the lead.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying. I do. I get it. But I also think that Spalletti's substitutions have been working out really well. So when it comes to rotation, he makes the odd sub at halftime. He's making earlier subs than normal. He is than past managers anyway. He's doing it. I think that as long as this whole team is happy in the role that they're in, the only question I ever had was Lozano and his happiness, but look at the smile on his face this weekend. He comes off the bench. He gets a goal. He almost got another goal. Unbelievable save by freaking Radu at the end of that game. Unbelievable. But that was amazing. Could have scored another goal. As long as everybody's happy in their role, look at Simeone. Simeone's coming off the bench to score, and he's smiling ear to ear. He's so happy he's a Napoli player. This guy was starting for Verona, starting every game for Verona, scoring 17 goals, 5 goals a game here and there. And we have a guy we went from a guy who came off the bench. Listen, Petagna came off the bench and got us wins. He got us. I can literally remember he got us wins. So Andrea Petagna, on a few occasions in his stint with Napoli, is responsible for about 9 to 12 points in Serie A for us, right? Okay. Right. Simeone has come on and done it 3 times already this season. Once in the Champions League and once with twice with in Serie A. You know what I mean? It's already happened. And he's happy about it. He knows. Like I heard someone else, it might have been Joe Fischetti, say, these guys came to Napoli knowing, okay, this position is filled, that position is filled, but they still wanted to come to Napoli. So when Simeone comes off the bench instead of starts, I don't think he minds because, hey, I'm going to come in and be a factor in this game. And it's a lock, basically. So, I understand what you're saying when it comes to starting lineups, but I think the starting lineup is just like for pride and honor. These guys are going to come in and make a difference. I don't think it matters whether they start or not. You know what I mean? So that's just my way of saying,
gotcha.
I'm not as affected as you were with the lack of rotation.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. We got 2 sides here. But who do you think your beast of the match was, guys? We're going to do it. We have our beast of the match of the Cremonese game. We also have the beast of the quarter, a new thing, a new segment that we're introducing. We are 9 games in. We are 25% through the season. And Raff and I decided to let's pick a beast of the quarter. Let's judge these 9 games and think who is that player that really stood out this quarter. We'll have 4 of these, I guess, right? Throughout the season. Maybe we'll even do one. We'll see how the Champions League goes. We'll see who's the beast of our CL campaign as well. We'll see how that goes. But for now, beast of the match. I want to give everybody a second to respond. And while you respond, I'm reading Johnny Ayuchi's comment here because I'm reading it. I have to admit, you guys, I was wrong. I can't believe how fast Kavada and Kim have adjusted to the Serie A. Great call by you guys early in the transfer season. You got a heart there, Johnny. To stay calm, stay calm, and we'll be good. Well, thank you, Johnny. We accept this this compliment to us.
Yeah,
But
we
yeah,
do.
we're like the optimists of the Napoli English world here. So
Well, and really quick, Ralph. I guess before we announce the beast, let's touch on that um tweet that I had mentioned to you in private. And the fact that
mhm,
the fact that there are some pessimists and optimists. I know you wanted to hit that
mhm.
in as a subject, but since Johnny came in and made that comment over there, I wanna reference a tweet that I put out saying that
Well, Raff,
when I tweeted out.
Raff, that was a segment. So hold on
Oh, we
to
want
it.
to go through the whole segment. Okay, we'll go through the whole.
Yeah, I
I
want
just
to let's
figure
do the beast of the match and
since
we'll talk about.
Johnny, yeah, since we displayed
Maybe I
Johnny's
should have
comment.
held that one. Maybe I should have
That's
held
okay,
Johnny.
Johnny. Hold
But
on, we'll get to
hold
that.
on
We'll
to
get
that.
to that
We'll
in a
get to
second. All right.
that. But guys, let's do the beast of the match and then we'll do the beast of the quarter, Rafa, and then we'll get into the we'll address
Okay.
the
Perfect.
we'll address the pessimist, man. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Here he is, guys. Giovanni
Here it is.
Simeone, man. Beast of the match.
First beast.
First beast. I was watching the game, and listen, Kim had a great performance out there. He was one of my noms. Cavada, despite him not being as present in this game as the others, I still think is beastly what he was doing. And no, no way, Gilberto says. Yo, listen, this guy flew in the air and knocks in the game-winning goal. Now, he's done it. He's got what I think like 4 goals already off the bench. He is helping to close games. He had the pass to assist. He set up that play, that beautiful little like chip over the Cavada that went to Lozano for a goal. He almost set up Lozano for another goal. His attitude on the pitch is just infectious. He runs through the Milan locker room excited. He kisses his tattoos during Champions League, scoring his first goal. This dude is so excited to be on this field. It's contagious. You can't even Ken on Twitter was talking about him, saying you know how he gives him the chills, and I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, he gets on and he does things, man, and it's I don't know. I just like him. I like what he brings to the team, not just goals, but just his attitude, his work ethic, his toughness, and that goal was gorgeous, man. And you know, it's a testament to what's been happening for Napoli late in the game when we need to get a result, and he is a big part of it. You know, you can call it the second team if you want, whatever, 1A, 1B, but he is a part of that, and he's been helping us seal the deal towards the end of the game. Rafa, what'd you think?
I'm with you when it comes to the beast of the match. Obviously, we end up agreeing on who the beast is. That's for sure. I do want to shout out Kim. I think Kim is getting. I mean, he's been runner up. I think if we're going to call it runner up of the quarter, I think it would be Kim. But Simeone for me was just. I mean, listen, you asked the guy. This is the perfect scenario, right? This is the scenario that we all saw play out in our heads when Simeone was even just discussed as coming to Napoli. Like when Simeone was just a thought, and when Simeone the rumor, and then that became a little true, and then it became all he only wants Napoli. Before we actually signed him, this is what we saw. Like, oh my gosh, can you imagine Cholito Simeone coming off the bench and winning games for Napoli on a regular basis? And this is what's happening. So in this match, that's what happened. I think he deserves it because of the goal, and like you said, because of the play to the assist to Kvara for Lozano.
Yeah.
I think I know why Gilberto said no way. I think he's going to
Or Lozano?
He's going to go Lozano, and I think that's a fair shout too. I'm going to give him a little bit of love. Gil, for some reason, thinks I got this thing against Lozano, which I don't. No. I don't even want to
support Lozano here.
Gil doesn't. Gil, you see, Gil is a Napoli guy, but he's not really on Napoli Twitter,
right?
So he doesn't know the battles that we have to go through
Yeah.
the whole Lozano-Politano fight that happens that no one here really cares about
Listen,
near you.
Raff,
But
Gilberto, I'm sorry. Quick, let me address you. Lozano did. First of all, we support Lozano here. We support every player in Napoli here. Number one, we have nothing against anybody, including Moret.
well, now
But understand that Lozano, I know right now.
Meret
Lozano,
is Gil's favorite keeper, by the way.
yeah, there you go. Moret's everybody's favorite keeper.
Last season, he just kept saying, "Put Meret in, put Meret in."
Moret in. But listen, Lozano, understand. I don't want to say has been struggling, but he's had a difficult time trying to find the back of the net lately. He had a few missed headers, few missed kicks. Simeone helped get him back into the game, and that to me is beastly. Not that Lozano didn't have a performance. I mean, Lobotka had a crazy performance. Kim had a crazy performance. Even Cavada, into some instance, had a pretty great performance that was slightly beastly. Definitely gets a nod. But the beast of the match is the person that really,
picks the team up by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, it's not a stat. Like, yeah, he scored the goal, but that's not why he won. It's his presence on the field.
Yeah,
is why he won beast of the
match. His demeanor, his composure.
Bet off for that because I think they came on at the same time practically.
I think they did come on the same time.
No. I think they came on for Ndombele. Simeone came out for Ndombele, and then
he did. You're right. No, Lozano
came on after.
With Zielinski. That's true.
But still, that's when it all started. And
their styles complemented each other very well. I liked seeing Lozano and Kvara on the wings, man. With Cholito in the middle. Come on, dude. That's
I'll take
something.
It. Take it all day long.
That just gave me the chills. Forget it. I tweeted too about him. I said, listen, I said words can't express how happy I am to have this guy on my team.
Yeah.
Like this is the guy I think, I'm telling you, that's going to post Osimhen take us to another level. That's what I think.
I think so too. And just the overall embrace of everybody. I'm noticing more and more. When other teams kind of walk off, these teams are high, especially like Raspadori. You see, he's just kind of high-fiving everybody. Good play. And get this. Shout out to Omar Oktogba, who was when after the last Champions League game was one of the only reporters in the whole world to talk to Napoli, and he talked to Simeone, and he asked about with Victor gone, how is the team? What is the mentality of the team? And Simeone had responded that we're not looking to be better than each other. We're all here to help each other out. And that I think is going to be the line of the season for this team. Is just a bunch of guys trying to win, helping each other out. We saw it. I mean, we're going to get into a couple more of these stats, but I want to talk about the beast of the quarter, Raffa, since we're here. It's a new segment. It's exciting, and then we're going to address the later the later topics, guys. But beast of the quarter, who do you think it was? Did you have a completely different person that we chose from these past 9 games, or I should really say 12 games because we include the 3 from Champions League? Did you pick someone that we chose? Did you pick somebody completely different? Who is your beast of the quarter? I want to know. Put it in the chat. Guys, put it in the comments, the audio listeners, if you want. Let me know, but here we go. Let's give it to him. Got a new graphic for it, too. It's going to be awesome. Awesome sauce. Here we go. Here he is, guys. Frank Anguissa, beast of the quarter. No doubt about it. Without a doubt in my mind. Oh,
no doubt about it. No doubt about it. He's been, I don't even know if I could say he's been our best player. There's so many people that we can talk about being our best player. This guy has been an absolute freaking monster. Never mind beast. He's been a monster.
Yeah.
Zambo Anguissa, he earned 2 Serie A beasts from us and a Champions League beast. So that's 3.
Yeah.
I think it was the game against Fiorentina and then the game against Torino for Serie A, and then it was the Liverpool match where he got
the Liverpool
for us,
match,
right?
all
Yeah.
three. Yeah,
Just an
he had the 2
absolute
goals against Torino. Yeah,
just a phenomenal signing. I mean, when you think about it, he was a new signing this season. You know, he was on our team last year as a part of a loan deal. We pick up the option on him, and it was the best move we could have made because this guy is absolutely bossed the midfield. I think the question is, when does he get a rest? You know what I mean? This guy is a machine.
him and Lobo
right
did
now.
play 90 minutes last game.
Yep. When does he get a rest? They have been absolutely workhorses. All of them. The whole midfield. Lobotka, Anguissa, Zielinski. For me, it's the midfield in Europe. You know, for me, and Anguissa just heads that.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying Lobotka in here now, mind you. Lobotka has been the quarterback for this team without a doubt. What he has provided for us as far as controlling the ball has been pivotal in our defense, in our midfield rather. And you know, if I had to pick like man of the quarter, maybe I'd give it to Lobotka.
Oh, sure.
Beast of the quarter goes to Frank. And for me, one of a few of the reasons that I picked Frank was he provided something this season that he didn't provide last season, that he has been really trying, has been really working on. I saw it in preseason this season. I'm like, and that's his offense. Forget the fact that he's a dispossessing machine in the midfield. He's tough as nails. He has tracked back to help Di Lorenzo more than a number of times so far this season already. What he's done to come back, to track back and to help the defense, it goes so unnoticed because it's so quick that it's mind-boggling. But what I said, and I remember saying this last season, Raffa, was, man, once this guy starts providing on offense, he is going to be one of the best players in Serie A. I know there was a big debate. I was watching IFTV a few days ago, and they were talking. They put Frank Anguissa side by side with SMS. Who's better? And I think it's a coin toss. But I won't get into that debate. But the fact is that he gets into that debate now. He has scored more goals now this season than he has in his whole career. I believe he scored a couple goals when he played in Spain. The fact that he has added this element to his game, to me, is beastly, because Lobotka was probably beast last season. Probably could have got a couple quarters last season. How he changed under Spalletti compared to Gattuso was nothing short of amazing. Everybody talked about Lobotka, and he has cemented his beastliness in our hearts in this team. But Frank kind of did the same thing last season too. I mean, like what he did on defense for us, what he did, like coming out there. I think he got beast of the match his first game, if I remember correctly.
He did against Juventus, yes.
Yeah. I mean, incredible. But the fact now he's not only is he scoring goals, providing assists, setting up plays, dispossessing, helping on defense. This man has been a force in the midfield. He's doing it all. Beast of the quarter, without a doubt. But
listen,
he's part of the best midfield in Serie A.
Yes. Beast of the quarter. Last season, he had a little bit of inconsistency. If you watch this team up and down, left and right, the problem with the team was a bit of inconsistencies. We don't see that this season. We don't see that from him. Someone put it in here, and it's true. Joey Carbs put it. Zombo hadn't had a bad game to date, he said. And it's true. It's true. He hasn't had a bad game yet. This guy, he is, like you said, added the offense to his game too. I think he's getting more confident in himself to take these shots, to take these opportunities.
Yeah.
Like he had a couple opportunities last season. It was okay, but this guy now has a lot of confidence to go up to goal and try to score. And you just got to get him a few opportunities and he'll get it in. And we all kind of felt that, right? Yeah. We kind of felt once Anguissa starts scoring, it's over.
Right.
you know. But again, he just has the whole midfield has reacted so well to Fabian's
Yeah.
departure, to Zielinski's rumored sales. There was a lot going on in the midfield. Are we going to keep Gaetano? Or are we going to sell Gaetano? Or are we going to keep this guy? Are we going to keep that guy? Um, I mean, listen, and here's here's the thing: is that we have backups. We have Elmas that can come in, and Dombele that can come in. We still have Diego Demme. Let's not forget Diego Demme is still chilling with us somewhere. He's still recovering from injury from the preseason. We have the depth here, and I think Anguissa is just a lot more confident in that, knowing that like I'm gonna have a beast game. If one of these guys isn't, someone else is gonna come in, and we're gonna take care of this situation. He's wins balls, he wins duels, he wins aerials. He is not afraid to go 1-on-1. He wins balls back. He wins like I said, aerials. He tracks back, like you said. He helps out on defense, and now is moving forward. There's no other option for me. Frank Anguissa, beast of the quarter. I mean, you could think about Minjay. You could think about Kvara. They both got, their first player of the month awards in the first 2 months. Mm-hmm. It's pretty unprecedented that 2 new players to the league won 2 straight, player of the month awards. And that's all fine and well. But when it comes down to who is getting dirty down in, fouled, not giving up a lot of fouls, he's got 1 yellow card all season. Like, that's a defensive. He's a defensive midfielder. He's supposed to be a guy who's physical, gritty, in your face, win a ball back. You stole a ball from me, I'm stealing it right back from you. He's supposed to be, a brute force in the midfield, and he's only got 1 yellow card. That's beastly for me, man. Yeah, unbelievable.
No, it is. 8.5 games, by the way, he has played in total in our Serie A. Mm-hmm. Plus, I think almost all of the Champions games. So, Carmela had a great question. Well, Michael Ronaldo, quick. No mention. Kvara has been getting so much attention. I think part of it is it's easy for goal scorers to get attention, but he has been he won a beast of the match. He has been beastly for this team without a doubt, Kvara. But I feel like he's getting so much shine, and Zamo's getting next to nothing that it's unfair almost, because
here's the thing:
so much work in the midfield, man. He's doing so much work, and Lobo too. I mean, it's like, who do you choose? But I considering
Kvara for me, there are some games where he's not as much of a protagonist as he is in others. I'm not saying that I'm not giving him shit about it. You know what I mean? He's definitely, a factor and a significant upgrade when it comes to him and Insigne, for sure, 100%. Mm. And I did mention him probably after you made that comment. I did mention him, saying that for him to come in and win Player of the Month, first month in Serie A, that's pretty impressive. But I think Anguissa just has been there every game, the whole step of the way. There has not been one. It seems like he hasn't even had a bad touch. It's just, it's so obvious and evident that how good he's playing, that the CBS Champions League guys are picking up on it. They're finally starting to pick up on it, and that's a good sign. He's getting world recognition. Honestly,
I'm gonna read a question. Maybe. We'll see what the chat thinks. I want to, get an order. Then I want to move on, Raffa. We'll spend 5 minutes on the next topic, and then we'll get into the main rant. Mm-hmm. Raffa, we're getting close to the hour mark. We got to be out by an hour. Lobo, Carmelo Frazetto, all the way from Austria, Yazi, asks us, Lobo Cop and Frank, both beasts of the quarter. Completely agree. The question is, if one of them is missing, who do you feel is more missed? I feel Lobotka. He is vital for us to succeed. This is a hard question, man, and that's why I'm throwing it out there. Whether we answer it now, later, or whoever, but it's out there.
Yeah,
to know, especially guys on the replay. We get so many replays. Please answer this question in the replay. Answer this question. It's a
engage in there. Engage in the replay on YouTube. Go on our Twitter. Go on the show. The post of the show. Talk about what you heard. We'll post the Beast of the Matches. We have the thread that's pinned on our Twitter account, Beast of the Match. Tell us why you think he's not. Tell us why you think he is. What happened? What your opinion is. I really like this question that Gil asked, or this comment that Gil made too. So Carmelo, yeah, we'll get to that soon because at this time I really don't know. That could spark a whole another debate. Maybe we have to wait to see.
That's next. Join us on next week's episode.
But
Gil answer us so we can make a thing. I put this up. I don't think this is a question. I think this is a rhetorical question, Raffa.
It is. Who do you choose when the whole team is showing up? Gil, the answer is we choose the whole team.
Choose the whole team. We did it once.
We did it. Yeah, we did it for Ajax, bro. Ajax, the whole Raff and I were literally like, who gets this Beast of the Match? It's impossible. And we had just talked about possibly. I think it was the last game again, the one before Ajax. Was that the Torino game?
Yeah.
Where we had said maybe we give Beast to Spalletti and Giuntoli. For some reason,
it was ADL and Giuntoli.
Oh, ADL.
No, that was for the Champions League game, Rafa.
Oh, was that for the Champions League game?
Yeah, but I mean, they'll get theirs. They'll get theirs.
Yeah, but the whole point is that who do you pick?
Who do you pick? Right.
Who do you pick? Even in this,
we're picking up our management. We don't know what to do anymore.
Dude, but even in this game against Cremonese, who do you pick? They all had a pretty lackluster first half. Second half was. A little tight. We gave up the goal in the second half. It didn't look good. And then our subs came in and boom, we're 4-1. Next thing you know, freaking Oliveira gets a goal. I mean, come on. Oliveira comes on for Mariri and gets a goal. Unbelievable.
We got our right backs assisting our left backs. This shit is nuts.
Di Lorenzo got an assist and dude, I mean,
here's a good shout right here. Johnny Aucci says I would say back on the Napoli train. I would say Frank Anguissa, wink wink. I would say Frank Anguissa responding to Carmelo's question. When we lost Alan to injuries and then he left, we lost the physical side of us in the middle, and you see how necessary it is to have a physical.
That's 100% true.
So
that's 100% true. And he notes underneath his comment that we still do have Deme, coming back soon. It's another addition to the squad. It's another addition.
I think Gaetano can shady be a regista. We saw a little bit of that on the field. So it's absolutely. Does it matter? Everybody's great. But and considering this, then we have to address the pessimists, the optimists, and somewhere in between, Rafa, because I'll be honest. So I read this when Patrick Kendrick the other day tweeted something, Rafa, and I wasn't offended. He was right, but I was mad that he was right, and I started texting a few friends in Napoli and kind of giving shit to them. Patrick Kendrick said that our fan base was probably one of the most fickle in Italy. And I know we have great viewers here. Don't get me wrong. And I feel like everybody that engages with us has great opinions and they're able to be as balanced as possible. But not every Napoli fan is like that, Rafa. And to some extent, I understand why. To some, I don't. But I know you wanted to address something. You wanted to read out a comment, so I'm going to let you. And then
I did.
We'll talking about this.
So yesterday I sent a tweet saying that it's lonely at they say it's lonely at the top, and if that's true, I like being alone. So, I posted a picture of the table of us sitting by ourselves. Right?
We're so lonely.
I have nobody.
You might finish in fourth.
No, they might not finish in fourth.
At best.
But yeah, moving on. Thank you. The docile tones of Ralph Bizarro.
Thank
you. If you're sleeping now, we understand. So I wrote that, right? I mean, listen, I got some crap from a Milan fan saying chill, long way to go. Still got to play Atalanta, Udinese, Juve, Roma, Inter. I said, well, if you watch Napoli play, I really can't see any of those teams getting max points from Napoli. I can't. We're standing there and we're like, after this game, because I made the comment, Napoli treble. My cousin's like, whoa, chill. But then I'm thinking to myself, like, think about it. What team in Italy can beat us right now? I don't think there is one, right? So, one of another Napoli. He's a Napoli
Not
supporter.
Cremonese. Sorry.
I'm not going. Yeah, I know. I'm not going to call his name out. If you go on my Twitter, you'll see who it is. I don't have an issue with this person. I just wanted to use his tweet. I will read the tweet to sort of rant about this on the show. Okay, so he says, Napoli fans never learn, do they? A few fantastic wins together, and suddenly a shoe-in for the league, with most the season still to go. I hope you are right, of course, and I want to see Napoli win the Scudetto, but excitement needs to be kept in check. Now, I say to you, fellow tweeter, Napoli tweet, have you been watching these games? Have you? Do you not notice something a little different about this team compared to other teams from the past? Even in the way we've won our first, 9 games or 7 games and draw 2, as opposed to won our first 8 in 2018, won the first, unbeaten in the first 12-ish, right? Have you not seen in the manner in which that we're beating these teams? If we get scored on first, we're coming back. Either we're coming back with a vengeance, or we're coming back and we're winning by 1. We're kicking, serious ass in the Champions League. And when I say serious ass, I mean Liverpool, who are the champions in 19, runners-up last season, and we beat them with ease. It could have been 7-1. Okay? Then Rangers on the road, after that whole thing with the Queen, no fans, nobody had to change the day of the game. Our psyche that is a game we could have definitely completely unraveled. And what did we do? We missed 2 penalty kicks in a row, right? And what did we do? We won 3-0. We came out and destroyed them afterwards. Yep. Games like yesterday, Cremonese, these are games that we in the past would have drawn. We already did it against Lecce. We did. We got it out of our system. We did it. Fiorentina, I'm not going to worry too much about. Fiorentina, even though they lost today 4-0 to Lazio, I'm not going to worry too much about Fiorentina. Fiorentina are a tough team. Vincenzo Italiano, he knows how to play our up to our level. 0-0, fine. But have you been watching the manner in which we've been winning? We have 22 goals in the league, most in the league. After 9 games, we have 13 goals in the Champions League in 3 matches. 13. And against Rangers, who were runners-up in Europa League last season, I forgot to fail to mention, and Ajax, who are basically European royalty. How can you not be excited? You have
let me add to that, Raffa. 12 goal scorers and 22 goals in Serie A. We are first in that, right above Udinese, who has 11 goal scorers with 19 goals. I was checking. And then I think Lazio comes in third. 8 goal scorers in Champions League, 13 goals.
Unbelievable.
Pretty damn good. And, oh, by the way, let me read to you what also we lead in Champions League. Most penalties awarded, highest rating, most goals per minute, first in expected goals at 10.9. That's above Man City with Haaland, the animal. Mm-hmm. Okay, we have the most in shots, we have the most chances created, and we have the most shots on target. Rrahmani and Kim are in the top 5 most accurate passes in the league. Mario Rui is tied for 4th for most assists. We have right backs giving left backs assists. Off the bench has been ridiculous. And we have one person who nobody even knew could barely say his name, who is, I think, first or second leading goals in the league or something like that, with 5 goals in Cavada. So just a couple numbers.
We're averaging 2.91 goals a game, right? And we're averaging 0.75 goals given up. Okay, that's our average right now.
Mm-hmm.
And listen. The fact is, it's not even the goal. It's not even the goals for and against. It's not even that. What it is for me is it's the attitude. Again, the reason why I asked Ralph to have this segment today after that tweet is because I'm telling you, please believe me when I tell you, I live near and am family members with the most pessimistic person on planet Earth. Never mind just Napoli. In all aspects of life, my cousin Dan is the most pessimistic. Doesn't get his hopes up because he doesn't want to be disappointed. Doesn't agree with anything I say when I say anything positive. He doesn't. He really does. Promise you guys. Please believe me when I tell you, I live with the most negative individual I've ever met. Okay, and that applies when it comes to Napoli.
Mm-hmm.
He is even saying, "Holy shit, Ralph! These are games we lose last season. These are games we lose in the previous. These are the games that we lose. Like it's." Gil is saying it's true, not because of what I'm saying about them losing. He's saying it's true because he knows Dan very well too. He's my partner. Yeah. I'm telling you, these performances are not going to go unnoticed all season. Plus, add to the fact that Milan are not playing the way they usually do. Milan not playing the way they usually do. Juve are down in 10th, right? Inter are in 9th. Right now the top is Napoli, Atalanta, Udinese, Lazio. No, Napoli. It's actually Napoli, Atalanta, Lazio, Milan, Udinese. Like you guys have to understand that the Roma's not doing their thing. Inter are not doing their thing.
Dybala just got hurt now too.
And now Dybala's hurt. And now is the chance now. And Ralph, this goes back to what I was arguing before with the whole rotation and lack thereof for Cremonese. The fact that Atalanta and Udinese played each other 2 and 3, right? Atalanta tied with us for first. Udinese only 1 point away. The prospect of one of those teams, if not both, dropping points yesterday, Napoli had to start the lineup they started. They had to make that gamble against. It's a sign of intent that Napoli are trying to win a freaking Scudetto, and this is how it's going to happen. Listen, 9 games. We're 1/4 of a way through Serie A. I know everyone's saying it's early days, but guess what? Blink an eye, and it's going to be the halfway mark. Okay.
Yeah.
And we have games coming up before the World Cup. We have to play against Roma, Atalanta, and Udinese. These are teams we have to play against before the World Cup. We want to establish that lead in Serie A before this World Cup break. If we can go into the World Cup break with like a good 6 to 7 point lead, I mean, and a lot less players that we have on our team going to the World Cup, it's looking pretty good. So that's where I'm trying. The pessimists out there, please just consider that the fact that this is a different team with a different mentality. That the old guard is dead. It's gone. Thank you. Grazie.
Dead and gone. Sorry, I'm singing it.
Grazie Koulibaly. Grazie Insigne. Grazie Mertens. Grazie Spina. Grazie Fabio. But it's over. It's over. This is a new group that doesn't have that mentality of, oh, we bottled it that year. Oh, we bottled it last year. Oh, you can tell it on his face when he's taking a penalty, Insigne. You can tell it on his face. Oh, the whole weight of the world's on my shoulders. None of these players have the weight of the world on their shoulders, and it's showing. It's showing. Please stop with the negativity. I get it. We have battle scars. We're Neapolitan. We're passionate. We're superstitious. It's going to happen again. No, it's not. It's not going to happen this year. It's not going to happen.
Raff, I want to address one thing, and then I want to move on to the next topic, and maybe we'll do about 5-10 minutes there, and then we out. But here's the deal. I'm agreeing with what I'm reading in the chat and what I've read with certain comments on Twitter and Discord and all that. I get the scars, and one can say that we've kind of been in these positions before, and then we see things kind of fall off by the wayside there. And I understand that, and I think the pessimists are valid in some instance to be like, hey, don't forget what happened last time. And I think we should respect our history and understand what's going on. But that's the thing, because if you are a true Napoli fan and you've been watching this team, even within the past 10 years, you didn't even have to watch the whole ADL era, but just over the past 10 years, you could see a significant difference with this team compared to most other teams. You know, maybe one can say the best team, maybe the last best team possibly was 2018 when we had the 91-point season. Whatever your opinion is, doesn't matter right now. But the point is that when you get these different vibes, and not only that, but you see who we now have. Look, Raffa, you called this couple episodes ago about if Victor, a year or two ago, Victor goes down at this moment, Napoli are dead in the water. That has not happened. All right. ADL trying to pinch pennies, not letting people go or not buying the players he's supposed to play, which did happen in the past at times. All right. He did pick up some players, but a common theme that I usually hear is that he doesn't complete it. He's missing that one thing. Maybe ADL was trying his best with his method earlier, and then maybe he figured out that, hey, maybe I got to do a little bit more. You see him going out getting more sponsorships. You see him taking this new step with the jerseys. And I don't care if there's 13, 14 jerseys. It doesn't matter. If they sell and it brings money into the coffers, that's cool with me. I'm a businessman. I'm fine. I'm not going to buy all the jerseys, but people will. And that's fine. And now we're making them and we're producing them and it's cool. And they're Armani and we're getting money for it. Is it the biggest money? No. Now he's pushing with Apple to try to get that deal going on for the whole Serie A, for everybody to get money. And I've been pretty outspoken with saying, hey, I think ADL did hit his ceiling, but I think Serie A is not pushing theirs. So if Serie A can do their end of the bargain and meet in the middle somehow, boy, it's beneficial not only for Napoli, but for all the teams. And maybe it'll bring more money for all teams. And maybe we can make better moves because, and maybe we don't see Italy becoming this, or Serie A becoming this farmers team, this farmers kind of league now that the EPL was going to buy all our players. They're going to buy Cavada. They're going to buy Kim. They're going to buy pump the brakes. We already still a Botka in a verbal agreement with trying to extend his contract. I think they just did. Frank. They did Meret. You're going to see little by little. Right. You're going to see these contracts more and more and more getting extended. All right. He reset. He's going to start extending. He's going to give Cavada and Kim time to prove. And once they prove themselves, he's going to offer them more money. He's going to put a bigger transfer fee, and they're going to stay for a few more years and help us produce something. And if not, we're going to get a boatload of money and just do this all over again. And
we're already got a boatload of money.
Yeah.
We won 3 Champions League group stage matches.
Right.
If you really think
I think
about
we're like
that,
50 mil right now.
Dude,
so.
That's more than the freaking Scudetto winner gets.
Yeah.
It's more.
No, is it? Joe said that as well.
Okay, so it's about. How much does the Scudetto winner get?
I think it's the first place is about like 180, 100 million, 80 million. It depends because there's like weird historic rights that makes a difference. I don't know. It's a bullshit equation. I'll tell you this, it's 50% less than what the EPL was making. So, but I think overall the general vibe of the team was different. We complain about a lot about mentality. That has changed. Even Spalletti has changed to some degree. I think he's been perfect politically. I think he's been flawless politically for the city, for this team. As an employee of De Laurentiis, he knows where to step and how to step. The market has been dubbed as genius despite us being doubters. We're in an underdog position, and you know what? I think we needed it. I think ADL needed a little bit of a smack in the mouth. He needed to say, hey, I'm going to change things. This is the first time ever that ADL has said, we're going to win a Scudetto. And I just kind of believe him. Or at least I believe what he says. Will we win it? I don't know. I'm not going to say that. I died on the hill last season saying we're going to win the Scudetto. So my body is dead on the hill. My spirit is flying away. I'm not going to call any Scudetto winners this season. I'm going to give myself like a season break because, you know, from what I said, we should have won last year. We tanked it. Why? Because we couldn't score goals. Cut it whatever way you want. Look at December. Look at April. We couldn't score. Cavada got hurt. We couldn't score. We dropped points. Crucial points. 1 game, 2 games was all the difference last year in order to win a Scudetto or not. And one can argue, okay, maybe Juve now is in a Banta era. Inter is having these financial troubles. Milan restarted, and I think they're great. I like Milan. Roma, you know, trying these different projects. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll cut the mustard dish. I don't know. Now with the Dybala hurt, who the hell knows? But the fact is that you could tell, if you really love this team, you know this team, you could tell visually they're different. But I do understand that the people who don't want to take it there and who want to continue to be a pessimist based off of history. And I kind of understand that. And I said it, that we will never be valid, and neither will ADL and all the work he's done until we win a Scudetto. I think it's the most important trophy for us right now. I mean, one can say Champions League, but I think that's overreaching. But it's good to see that all the things that we didn't like or we were worried about have now been somewhat adjusted, have now been working. And if we can continue with that throughout the season, man, it's gonna be a really, really close call. And I think Napoli should get its praise. But overall, you know, the whole A16, I don't like this mentality coming from the other side. I don't like it. I understand why Napoli's are the way they are. You know, I listen to Henry and Michele, and I get why he says some of the things he says, but I feel like it's infectious in a bad way. And we need to kind of look at the little improvements that we're making year by year by year. We did this whole change up. Let's give it a shot, see where it takes us. I mean, we literally have nothing to lose. But to go online, to go on social media, one, to argue amongst each other and to put each other down, no. Stop it. Stop that bullshit. We, as Napoli fans, we cannot implode, all right? Everybody already hates us. If we start hating each other, it's a wrap. I said it. Support your local content creators. You got Joe, you got Dom, you got the Far From Vesuvius boys, Ken and Kubanija. Support them. We can do it. This will be this is the beginning of a new era, in my opinion. I'm predicting, and if maybe I'll be wrong, I don't know, but I'm gonna predict it. I'm gonna lend some optimism. I want to turn a new leaf. I want to start getting respect. When Patrick Kendrick is telling us we're fickle, and he's right, because I respect the man. He's been on this show, and he's such a good dude, and he came out and defended Napoli. But for him to say that pissed me off. It pissed me off, not because of what he said was wrong, but what he said was right. And it's like, chill. I know you're emotional. Try to keep some of your emotions intact sometimes. Don't spill it out. And if people are out there talking shit, let them talk their shit. All right. Maybe the newspapers don't want to talk about us. Fine. Don't talk about us winning. You know what you could talk about instead? Juve losing, Inter playing like shit. That's all the papers are now in Italy, of how the top teams are playing like shit. Nobody's talking about how Napoli's doing good. And you know what? Let's leave it that way. Let's stay in the shadows a little bit. Let's stay in the shadows of Vesuvius, all right? Let's paint this picture of how we're going to be a great team this season and see what happens. But overall, you can doubt, you can be calm, but I think the clashing between each other needs to stop. And I think the over dramatization of certain things, maybe you can dislike ADL, maybe you can dislike certain things, but you cannot completely shit on your own team. It's got to stop, because we speak about mentality for the team. We need to speak about mentality for the fans, and we need to grow, because if we want a big team, we need to be big team fans as well. And you have to accept some losses. You have to accept some shitty performances, but you also have to be brave, and you have to, support and leave your emotions, go into the bathroom, scream it out in the wall, whatever, but leave some of that at home. Leave some of that at home. You don't have to spew everything, or come in the rant and talk, and let's talk about it, which is your best bet. On every Monday night at 8:30. Thank you.
Just to clarify, thanks for that rant. I like that rant too, but just to clarify really quickly, Scudetto winners, Inter made 23.4 million when they won theirs in 2021, right? 2021? Yeah. The 2021 Scudetto winners, Inter, made 23.4 million, okay? Napoli has already earned 8.4 million euro on their 3 wins in the Champions League. If they win their next game, it'll be 12.6, okay? And if they win that game, thus qualifying for the knockout rounds, they'll have already made 20.9 million euro for Champions League in four matches, essentially. Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, the money is nuts.
Yeah.
The money is nuts.
And that might be difference for ADL, Raffa. He's like, all right, if I spend this much and I do it wisely, I can get something out of this. And I think he finally understands I need to complete this team.
I think it was
politics.
What I think it was
convinced him to buy the players.
Yeah, man. But I think it was also the fact that, you know what? You take those COVID years where we were not in the Champions League, where we kind of dwindled. We took a little bit of a loss, right? ADL had to do what he had to do by dropping the salaries, right? Getting this, relying on the scouts that are available, the resources that are available for him to bring in the players that he feels he needs. Once we got back into the Champions League, don't forget, we made 40 mils for reaching the Champions League alone, right? So now that we're doing so well, all this money that's going to be accumulating throughout the season, you know, the Scudetto would just be the ciliegia sul torta, you know? The Scudetto is, okay, it's not that much money, but it's the pinnacle of
the meaning. It's the symbolism of
the meaning. It has nothing to do with the money. It's the meaning. And that's, I think, where the fans got a little bit mixed up, was like, you know what? It's not about the money. I get it that you want to get to the Champions League because there's a potential to make money, blah, blah, blah. It's finally happening. So where, guys, this is the best. I mean, I'm not the only one that said this. This is statistically the best Italian performance in the Champions League, I think, ever so far in the first three matches of the group stage. I don't think any other Italian have had 13 goals for, 2 against, and dominated the way we have, you know, against the opposition when it comes to the opposition that we have. So for the fans that are still just so pessimistic, it's like I get that we've seen hard times, but the hard times are ending, man. It's over. It's over. Let's go.
Right. And if you need more proof, you can tell by having Victorless victories.
There's
Raffa,
no other proof.
I mean,
this
is it. This is it, right? This was the smoking gun here, you know?
This is the smoking gun, man. What do we do when Victor Osimhen comes back? Because I believe it was today, he returned to full training today. That means he's going to see some minutes pretty soon. He will. He's probably not going to get a start right away. Raspadori will probably start against Ajax. Maybe he'll come in the dying embers. It depends on the score. But he's got to get some good, you know, full training sessions in. He might not see the pitch for another week, but, you know, it's going to happen. And what's going to happen to all these players that are stepping up? Is he going to be integrated the same way? Is he going to be put in and are we going to sail the ball over everyone's head to try to get it to Victor? Or is he going to be integrated into how we've been playing now, right? How many less minutes is Simeone going to get? How many less is Victor going to come back to start? He might be our bench guy too, you know? So all these different questions of, you know, oh, calm down. It's only the beginning. Guys, we're not even doing this with Osimhen. We're not doing this with Osimhen, and you know, I remember, I think it was Pete Scala who said with Keylor Navas, we're a Scudetto contender. Well, guess what? With Alex Meret, we're a Scudetto contender. Like, come on, like, there's nothing. How can you not be positive about this? This victorless victories. This is a problem that we have.
Yeah,
Victor Osimhen's coming back. Who's going to go where? But it's a problem that I'll take 99 times out of 100 besides over the problem that we used to have. Victor Osimhen's injured.
Yeah.
We're fucked.
We're fucked, right? That's what I was going to say. I mean, this problem quite possibly wins us a Scudetto, quite possibly. I mean, one can make that argument. We'll see at the end of the season. But I think if Victor were to see this now or to see the ad, maybe Oma would show him or something, but maybe he would be offended by it. But I don't want him to get offended by it.
No,
because
this is a praise
position,
to him.
This is a praise. This is saying like, hey, we got the team. Maybe Victor's having like you said, he had his little injury, but we can back him up now. We're taking some of that pressure off of him. But in my opinion, I think he comes back and starts banging in goals.
Dude,
now, he's going to start banging in goals.
Has done that.
He's done that. After every injury comes back, starts banging in goals. Because when he wants to play so bad that when you keep him away, it's like you're filling up this barrel with gunpowder and it's ready to explode.
Bro, that 40 minutes against Liverpool was just, I mean, he was on a bad hamstring or whatever it was that he pulled. And look what he did.
Right.
He still has that entire Liverpool team.
I had a stat. I forgot. He is still one of the top. I think he has one of the top assists and one of the top goals still in the league. And he's been out for like 4 weeks. So, I mean, and plus what he does, his action off the ball that nobody really gives praise to, how much of that opened up opportunities for the rest of the people on the team? You can't see it. It's not a stat. It's sometimes it's not even on camera. It's tough to watch, but he does that. But what I do hope is that he can kind of see how the team is playing and the team understands how they can get him back into the game. I think him stepping back a little bit and Napoli kind of having to find this, I don't want to say new, but different maybe approach to the game and the team. Because Victor has been so used to this one way that I don't know if he was accustomed quite yet to what the team was doing. But now, I mean, he was helping, but now maybe watching it, maybe talking over it with the guys, maybe he understands a little bit better and maybe he can tweak his performance a little bit so he can fit in. Because let me tell you, man, he can just be tapping balls in left and right if people give him the right service. I mean, you remember what he said, feed Victor, man. If you feed Victor, the guy's going to bang in goals. And I think he's going to open up more space. I'm excited to have him back. I super happy about what Raspadori has been doing. He's giving me those Merten vibes. And when I say Merten vibes, I don't mean emotionally. I mean the gameplay. I put that up on Twitter. Everyone's like, no, I still miss him. Listen, I still miss Mertens too. But Raspadori has been, he's like my what was that? My player support, my emotional support player has been Raspadori with Mertens not coming back. So it's just good to have Simeone off the bench, taking away I mean, yes, Patania has scored some goals for us, some game winners, and nothing to take away. But I think in the pinch, Simeone is a better option. So complete upgrade there. And then you have Victor, who now is going to be hungry. I think the injury might have did him some good, or did the team some good.
I think so too.
Let everybody else get acclimated, these new guys to come in and get acclimated, because without Osimhen there, we had to rely on them. They showed we can rely on them, and now we just have Victor to come in and do more work. I mean, this is great. Another great problem. So I'm confident that he's going to come back strong, especially not being in the World Cup. He's going to have his opportunities. This team is going to have their opportunities, and I think we're going to be a force in the attack with, being backed by one of the best midfields and now quite possibly one of the best defenses. And it's just been, the ride so far is incredible. No matter what happens, I'll never forget the beginning of the season. Never forget it, especially after these past 2 years, man. This was such a good thing. But Victor, we want you to come back and we want you to kill it.
Wait,
That's
man.
what this is about.
I'm asking Oma for updates almost every day. Hey, man, how's Victor? What's Victor doing? He's telling me. I can't really tell you guys. He told me to keep it between me and him. So I won't spill the beans, but he's ready. He's itching to come back, man. He really is.
We know he is. Come back. He texted all the time. He's like, just wait.
And I can't really put. The Peter says here, Victor needs to earn his way back on the team. I know where you're coming from, Peter. He said, follows up with, we were playing too well just to throw him back out there. I disagree, man. I think that he was playing fine before he got hurt. It's not that he was playing bad and lost his spot. He got injured. You know what I mean? I think he comes back, and I think he gets integrated well into this team that now knows how to get the ball to Victor Osimhen, because they know how to get the ball to Simeone. You know, Amir Rrahmani his assist foot is really like moving, man. He's
oh my God,
he's moving.
Incredible.
He's he's the ability to cross in now. He has, plus Lozano's crossing abilities too, and everybody else, the way they're playing. You know, Kvaratskhelia is a very unselfish play. Victor also is a very unselfish person too. I just think that once he comes back, I think we take this lead and we make it a huge lead, and we're off to the races, off to the moon, man. Honestly.
Let's get a Forza Napoli started in the chat, guys. I'm going to get a little closing music done. Finally, my song came back.
Yeah, man, the music is back. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, StreamYard has been upgrading, man. Thank you, StreamYard.
Get in this chat. Get in the social medias, you know, the Facebook, the Twitter. Please comment on Twitter, comment on YouTube, you know, give us your opinions. For those who are not watching, live, who can't watch live, you know, check us out, share us, like, subscribe, do all the great stuff. Far from Vesuvius, get on our socials, talk to us about how you feel, you know. This is a show for you guys.
Yeah. Come into our Discord, for crying out loud. It's been lots of fun in there. The watch parties have been dope. Lots of people coming in from Europe, from everywhere. It's so much fun. Next Strike maybe October 16, guys.
Yeah, try to make it out there. I'm going to try my best to get out there myself. A little challenging right now. A little tough time. But if I can make it out there, I will, for sure. I will be at a few more this season. That's for damn sure.
But yeah, be sure to hit like, guys. Please subscribe. Please share. Tell the whole world about us. And please support. Thank you again. Watch parties are where it's at. But yeah, certainly thank you to all our live viewers. Thank you to all the audio listeners of the podcast. Big shout out to Napoli, 4-1 again. Let's hold on like this, boys. We got a game. What is it? Wednesday. I'll probably go watch party in the Discord.
Wednesday at noon. Wednesday at noon. Not noon. It's 12:45. 12:45. Wednesday 12:45. Ajax at the Maradona. Win guarantees us the round of 16. Guarantees us a round of 16.
Can't wait. Super excited about the conference, guys. But Raffa, great show as always.
Thank you, my friend.
I guess I'll see you Wednesday.
Yeah, see you Wednesday.
All right, guys. Ciao. Forza Napoli sempre. All right.
Forza Napoli sempre.